Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. We really love you and we're gonna get married.
The lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, LGBT community is currently pushing for civil marriage rather than civil partnership on the grounds of equality. Most LGBT people believe they should be entitled to marry under Irish legislation, as are heterosexuals, and feel the law should be changed to protect the rights of all its citizens.
People in Ireland are well ready to not just accept, but actually to promote equality for lesbian and gay people. What we see in the current proposed civil partnership bill is no less a failure on the part of our political leadership to really stand up and be counted, to really represent the majority of the people on this island who believe that as citizens, as equal citizens, we deserve equality and not some halfway measure.
Partnership was a construct of the 90s. It has no place in 2009. The government cannot ignore this. If Ireland is to maintain its reputation as a leader in human rights, then it must legislate for full civil marriage equality now. So I would like to say to the government, stop cowering behind the Attorney General's advice that marriage may be unconstitutional. Nowhere in the Constitution is marriage defined as being exclusively between a man and a woman.
Catherine and I have been together since 1981, and actually in 1982 we had a partnership ceremony. We had a lifelong commitment ceremony with many of our friends, and we had an Episcopalian woman priest who offered a blessing to our partnership on that occasion. So since 1982 we had a life partnership commitment.
I found myself in a situation where I couldn't say a word against the campaign by Catherine Sapolny and Anne-Louise Gilligan to have their marriage recognised. Because when did I last see such romance, such passion, such mutual adoration?
We got married in 2003 in Vancouver in Canada. When I found out that we could get married, because I was giving a paper in Vancouver, and I discovered there that you didn't need to be a resident in order to get married in Canada, I came back and we were having a weekend in Waterfall, so I proposed to Catherine. That's my version. She would say it was kind of, we came on it together as we walked the Strand in Waterfall. Beautiful. On the night of my birthday.
People talk about speeches from the dock. Robert Emmett, and then with him. I think it was Anne-Louise who said from the dock. That was Catherine Bully said from the dock the minute I saw her, I loved her. Anne-Louise gets up and says, it took me a few days more. I thought, Jesus Christ, these two women. People are passionate about each other.
Well, partnership isn't going to give us equality. Partnership is a separate apartheid system. It's going to be for gay people only, and it's not going to give all the same rights as marriage. Partnership, for example, isn't going to give any kind of rights to children. It's not going to give any adoption rights. Children of same-sex couples won't be able to form legal bonds with two parents.
Living as a gay person, okay, you know that you're kind of discriminated against in ways, but it doesn't come up every day, or you don't, I suppose you can choose to be in the closet or not, or whatever, but when you have a child, and particularly as the non-biological parent, I suppose every day you're faced with something. So someone says, you got your figure back when you had the child, or whatever. So people kind of assume that you're the biological parent, and you have to kind of come out all the time. So, so for example, for simple things like I work part-time, so I'm at home with Ben a lot of the time. So I bring him for his appointments in the clinic or whatever, and all the time I have to keep coming out and explaining our circumstances, and it just, I suppose it's become now a daily thing, so that's why it's become much more important to me that you actually realise how much you need rights.
Well, from a feminist perspective, the institution of marriage historically has been one where men have had control over women, and that's been a very important part of the institution, and for that reason I'd be very critical of it. But it has to be said that a lot of that has changed in the last 10 or 20 years, and women have a lot more independence in marriage now than they used to have. So I might be less critical of it from the viewpoint of women and men and control, but I'd still be critical of it from the viewpoint of that any law that regulates love and commitment, I'd be critical of.
Equality is not a half measure. Equality is absolute. Either we are equal or we're not. There's no gray area here. Either our relationships are equal to heterosexual relationships or they're not. And that should make you angry that people are telling us that our relationships aren't equal. And I think sometimes we're afraid of our own anger. People feel that anger is a destructive, emotion. But that isn't always the case. Sometimes anger is a
I have many issues with the patriarchal institution of marriage, but I suppose what myself and my partner feel is that there are rights and entitlements and duties that are in marriage. And for us as feminists, the fact that we're being forbidden from doing this, that we don't have the choice, that's the reason that we're fighting for it. Will we get married? She hasn't asked me yet.
I mean, I think everyone has reservations about institutions, whatever they are, and some marriages work and some don't. But I have no reservations about the idea that people should have the opportunity to do so, or the choice to be able to get married and to commit to their partner in the same way that every heterosexual person does in this country.
I disagree with marriage as an institution, because as far as I'm concerned, that's what it is an institution. It hasn't worked for years for straight couples, so I don't see what the difference is going to be for gay couples.
I know in the past it was associated with patriarchy and the control of women, but I think marriage is something that is constantly evolving, and it's something that will continue to evolve in the future. And I think certainly once a ban on same-sex marriage is lifted, that is going to contribute enormously to the evolution of marriage and to a different concept of what it means.
Gay marriage, it's not a gift to be given, it's a right, it's not a present, it's a right of every human being.